These cards were in fact the first archetype ever to hit the game. They were released in Magic Ruler and again reprinted in, well, Pegasus deck. Soon to move on to the tournament packs and finally Dark Beginnings 2. Now I'm talking of course of the Toon monsters. This is Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon from the Pegasus deck. They're a little used archetype and in fact, they're quite useful. They've got their own unique abilities as an archetype. However, they are quite irritating to summon and can be a bit annoying, especially when the card Toon World is destroyed. Now, these are just every single Toon monster ever made. These are pretty much the easiest versions to get, ranging from Toon Dark Magician Girl to Toon Blue Eyes. And there are also three spell and traps made to them. There. Now I'm going to start off with the Toons themselves. There are three classes of Toon. The first class consists of Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, Toon Summoned Skull, Mangariran, and Toon Mermaid. Now, there is also a normal monster called Toon Alligator, but I'm not going to get into that purely because it's pointless. These monsters have they basically can only be special summoned, and they need tributes when they're special summoned. So you can summon them with Scapegoat. They can only be special summoned when Toon World is on the field. You can pay 500 life points. Oh no, you can pay 500 life points to attack your opponent's life points directly. So that can be quite a devastating blow, especially when you're attacking with 3,000 from Toon Blue Eyes. They're quite good. They've got high attack power compared to the other Toons, except for Toon Mermaid. They were released in Magic Ruler and the Pegasus deck. He came out in Secret. This is the original Ultra form of Toon Summoned Skull. Mangariran, I believe, was common, and Toon Mermaid was Ultra. Now, I'd say my favourite of the Toons in this set is Toon Mermaid, purely because you can summon her without a tribute, especially. So you can bring out three with Toon World, then tribute those three for larger monsters such as Blue Eyes Toon Dragon and the Toon Summoned Skull. So that's Class 1 Toons. They're probably the brute force of the Toons. Tier 2 Toons, or Class 2 Toons, are Toon Goblin Attack Force, Toon Cannon Soldier, Toon Masked Sorcerer, and Toon Gemini Elf. These Toons are all level 4, and they can all be normal summoned, and they can all attack your opponent's life points directly when Toon World is on the field. However, they are destroyed when Toon World is destroyed. They all have different effects, unlike the other Class 1 Toons, such as Toon Goblin Attack Force's basic effect of switching to defense, Toon Cannon or regular Cannon Soldier's ability of tribute a monster to inflict 500. Toon Masked Sorcerer has the effect of drawing a card when you inflict battle damage, and interestingly, Toon Gemini Elf discards a card from your opponent's hand when you inflict damage to them. So, these Toons are quite useful as they can be normal summoned and offer defense before you can get the larger ones out. They can all attack directly, which is good. Toon Masked Sorcerer is a bit lacking on the attack side. However, they're all useful in their own right. These were all released in DB2. This one was released as a Hobby League promo. But yes, they're very useful. And finally we have Tier 3, which consists of one card, the Toon Dark Magician Girl. Now, this one is probably the most effective Toon, as it can be special summoned by tributing a monster from the field when Toon World is in play. It costs 500... No, it doesn't cost 500 points to attack, and it can attack your opponent's life points directly as soon as it's summoned, rather than, of course, the other Toons having to wait a turn, which is a downside. So Toon Dark Magician Girl is great. 2000 attack. It has its last effect of increase its attack for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos. I don't think anyone really cares about that second effect. I don't think anyone really cares about any effects of Toons, to be honest, but I do like the ability of Dark Magician Girl is quick attack, but I would like 3. Yes, it's probably the most effective Toon. finally, we have the spell and trap cards, Toon Table of Contents, Toon Defense, and of course Toon World. Toon World, the card where all toons get their power, activated by paying 1,000 life points. That's it. And when it's destroyed, all toon monsters are destroyed, as it states on every toon card. Toon Table of Contents, search your deck for any toon monster, spell or trap, and add it to your hand. Or Manga Ryoran, in fact, so if you really feel like searching out a Ryoran, there you go. Incredibly useful card if you're using 3. It's even useful in decks that aren't based around toons. It's brilliant. Any ability that lets you search for any card in your deck is fantastic, so this is a strong must for any toon deck. And finally, Toon Defense pretty much defends your level 4 toons. You can make any attack to any level 4 or lower toon direct to your life points. Interestingly, it says level 4 or lower. Well, I can't think of any level 4 or lower than level 4 toons, except Toon Alligator. I'm not sure why you'd be using Toon Alligator, but still. There it is. It looks alright, I guess. It's just a picture of Toon World. But, yes. So, the toon monsters. Obscure, yes. They've got very amusing pictures. They're very cool. I like them. I'm planning on using a deck with them in, especially with things like Allure of Darkness, Dark Bribes, stuff to stop them from being destroyed, preferably. But they're great. I think they're going to be a very fun deck to run. Just look at the pictures. They're great. And also, they make an interesting conversation piece, to be honest, even if other people do think you're mad for using them. But yeah, hopefully they won't be dead, and hopefully we'll get some support for them in some later sets.